Oh, there it is. We're back with another review. This time of Jujutsu Kaisen Modulo chapter. This is 19, right? Chapter 19. And let me tell you, this is what I was waiting for. This part right here, this chapter, is exactly what I was waiting for. Granted, why my hands not in frame, bro? Like I'm a very hand. I guess I gotta just put them up more. I guess. I don't know. Maybe I'll move the camera down. It's gonna be a live thing, I guess. Let me put it like down to like right here. Sorry, but that's bothering me. I need to see my hands when I'm talking. I don't know. So, anyways, chapter 19 was what I was waiting for. I lost my train of thought because of that whole shebangle right there. Chapter 19, it was good. Man, what was I going to say? Oh my, I'm going to be bothered now. I'm sorry, but like, that right there was bothering me, and then I couldn't do. It's whatever. It's whatever. The point is, chapter 19 was good. Oh, I remember now. The chapter was kind of short though. This chapter felt very short, kind of quick, but they left with a good enough cliffhanger where I can forgive the shortness, and especially with how the chapter started off too. So let's get to that. So the chapter starts off with Dabura again locking in and figuring out, okay, I'm gonna had to fight or use attacks at the speed of light. Because you remember from last chapter, Maharaga adapted Dabura's curse technique. So the boy's like, alright, cool. Let me try to hit him at the speed of light. I said, let me use a different way. Let me fight in a different way to try to beat Maharaga. Which is kind of cool. And then remember from last chapter 2, Dabura now has a reason to fight. And also he's starting to enjoy fighting, as you will see throughout the chapter. So Dabura's charging up. He's zooming across the field. And then this is a very sick panel. I really like this. It's right. Let me actually put you right here. Maximum effort. Transition. Yeah, this panel right here, bro. This was tough. It's just him charging, trying to speed up to hit the Maharaga with this really strong technique or light-based attack. And it was this part right here. When one approaches the speed of light, air ceases to function as a fluid and begins to behave as a solid. And then at that point, we'll slow down a bit. We'll enjoy this together one more time. He hits him this light speed kick. And it does all. It was so tough, man. This right here is a clean panel. And just another thing I want to touch on too. I really appreciate how Gege incorporates the sciences pretty well. When it comes to explain how the physics works. He did that with Infinity, when it came to the imaginary numbers and how Infinity works. And he also did that too with it was Sakuna versus Megumi's sister. I forgot her name. Megumi sister. Sugumi. Yeah, but the point is, when she was fighting Sakuna, her technique, the pinnacle of her technique was making an not imaginary, but a perfect sphere. And a perfect sphere has infinite points on it, so it could change space in different ways. I believe it's been a minute since I read that and even studied that too back in undergrad. But the point is, that was another science-based thing right there, with real world physics, which I appreciate Gege doing. He actually takes the time when he does incorporate these things. He actually explains them pretty well. So that was it. That was a little tidbit right there. So going back to the chapter, Dabura hits Maharaga with this light speed kick. Pretty cool. Destroys a pretty decent part of the city. But then we see Maharaga, a piece of him is still left, and that was pretty insane. So a piece of Maharaga survives. So now he's adapted to that. And then we hear Dabura say something, which I feel was already said before, but just good confirmation. It seems as if, wait, I might as well do this too. We could watch it together. Am I right? This isn't illegal. It seems as if it's easier for it to adapt towards brute force than adapt to more complex techniques. How bothersome. So yeah, there's nothing confirmed like Maharaga's adaptation, like what works faster and what doesn't. I feel like that was kind of already touched upon in the Sukuna and Gojo fights too. Like it took Maharaga like a while to adapt to Infinity and whatnot. But when it came to like the slash techniques from Sukuna, those are like pretty easy for him to adapt to. So just confirm Maharaga's abilities and whatnot. Then we get this panel of like Maharaga and Dabura dance together, and Dabura just enjoying the art of fighting now because like he's actually like growing. He's having fun with it, and I think that's kind of like cool too. It's like this is his awakening almost, which is I feel like a common thing too when finding like a very strong opponent. It's like, what was it? A good example would be Gojo versus Choji. Like Gojo had like a whole enlightenment moment when he lost against Toji and then became the strongest, and now we see it with Dabura. He's having like enlightenment moment when he's fighting against Maharaga, and like he's learning more about himself and like enjoying the art of fighting and growing. So that's kind of cool too. I will say the panel of Maharaga him dancing was pretty insane. That was kind of funny. That made me chuckle a little bit passionate. It gave me there was like this one anime, I don't know, but they look very much like lovers here. I'm not gonna hold you. Like they just look like two partners dancing. I think it's kind of funny. And then this was the trick right here. This is pretty neat for Dabura. He then learned reverse curse technique. So like out of that attack, his leg was practically like blown up, and then he was like, "How can I fix it?" Then he remembered how like the sorcerers on Earth had like this reverse curse technique or using the opposite energy. So just by remembering what they said in their conversations, he then like healed his wound instantly. So that was kind of cool. So it just shows how he also is a genius too, and what deserves to be considered one of the strongest from the Sumerians because he could learn humans' curse techniques and adapt to it. And then he says that what did he say? He said that humans' curse energy is complicated but yet fascinating. I think it was. I have the footage right here. No, he says Earth sorcery seems pretty advanced. Alright, bet. So then moving on past all this, we go to like the humans talking, saying how because of this fight, a lot of like the low level curse spirits are gonna like, try to scurry out of Tokyo because of the amount of curse that's going on in the city. So they're gonna get ready to like exercise those curses instead of barriers, so like, they could flood those small class curses to the seaside so they could take care of them and exercise them. Then on the other hand, you see the Sumerians getting prepared to like, defend Dabura because they think the humans might try to invade with their fight or like try to stop it. So at that point, and they're all in the same building apparently too. So we have Sumerians in the getting ready to like mobilize to make sure Dabura's fight is interrupted. Then humans getting ready to mobilize to like exercise these curses. Then they meet up. They start wigging out, and then we get the boy Yuji on frame. He pops up, and then I can see this together, bro. We can see this together. I actually kind of like doing this whole idea of like transitioning to this is kind of easier for editing, and also just for you guys so you can enjoy it as well. We'll scroll down to right here. So as you can see, they meet up. Tensions are high, and then we see Yuji right here. Then he says this line right here. I told you it ended up like this. Well, I guess I haven't actually talked to anyone. Whatever. And then this man, I peeped this right now or beforehand, but like he had like something in his hand, like the piercing blood technique, and that went through like the entire building, bro. And it's just, this was so clean, man. Like Yuji's back in action. You can use piercing blood technique, and that's already like confirmed. I think like from the Sukuna fight anyway. Like he could use it to some degree. I think he now for sure mastered it, like as you can see right here. But man, I just can't wait to see Yuji in action, bro. I can't wait to see like who he's actually gonna fight. You know what I mean? Because headcanon. Here's what I think is gonna happen. I think the boy's gonna probably lose the fight against Maharaga. That's what I think it is. So someone's gonna have to fight Maharaga, and that someone's gonna be Yuji. And at that point, Yuji could dig into his bag and use all these curse techniques he knows. Because like again, he was with Sukuna. He's like a part of the bloodline or whatever. And we saw him use his mantle. We saw Yuji use his mantle. So that's already in his bag. He's got piercing blood. He's a Black Flash, you know, master at this point. And I feel like could he use? I feel like he use more Sukuna's techniques. I feel like he probably should use all of them, right? You would think. Because Gojo was talking about that like the very beginning of the series. How like, you know, the more fingers he eats, the more techniques he should be able to use from Sukuna. So he should be able to use probably most of Sukuna's techniques, in my opinion. But we'll see, though. We'll see. But seeing Yuji back in action, bro, is just so clean with it. Using piercing blood technique for entire building, bro. That was tough. That was clean. And I'm just glad to finally see Man back in action. Because they were edging Yuji on for like the past, I don't say 3 chapters. They were edging us on with Yuji to finally see him in action and do this right here with little to no ease, or little to none effort. I think that's the term. There we go. It was a sight to behold. So yeah, I'm glad about this chapter. Again, can't wait till next week, bro. This whole mini series has just been back-to-back bangers. Like, for sure, the first, I want to say 2 chapters or 3, they were a bit kind of slow, but once they started picking up pace, it was good. It was nice. But man, oh man, I don't know what's gonna happen next. We just have to wait and see for next week, I guess. Am I right? But that would do it for this week's chapter review. Hopefully you all enjoyed. If you did, please feel free to like and subscribe, so you can follow me in all the content and fun shenanigans I post on whenever. I won't give dates or anything. Just I post when I post, guys, and you gotta roll with the punches. Am I right? But yeah, please like the video and all that fun stuff. And until next time, y'all be easy, okay?